Artificial intelligence is pretty amazing, but let's also remember it's artificial. I've seen online that said they've taken their TurboTax tax return or their accountant's tax return and they plugged it into an artificial intelligence like ChatGPT or Grok to verify it. And they all come back saying, they found all these errors that the preparer had made, the TurboTax had made. What are we supposed to make of that? As we know, anything that is really complex, AI start to hallucinate on them. You don't know where they're hallucinating at unless you're a tax professional and can understand what's being said and what the caveats are. So I highly recommend that you do not try to fact check everything that an accountant says with artificial intelligence, because oftentimes they're forced to express things in simple terms that make sense to you. You are trusting the professional to simplify it to speak to you in your terms. So it's really unfair to measure an expert by what an AI says, especially when AI does not present itself as being an expert in that field. Who's going to defend you in an audit? Is artificial intelligence going to judge? Sir, I typed it into ChatGPT and it said I didn't owe it. No, that's not going to go anywhere. You're responsible as an individual for the tax return you present. And just because you found an artificial intelligence system that disagrees with your tax return doesn't mean that your taxes are wrong. You got to be really careful about what information you give to an artificial intelligence. It's really not the best place to be handing an AI your tax return, because your tax return also represents identifiable information. There's a lot of scams out there where people try to file a tax return before you file it, claim the refund, and then you're in hot water. And we've seen this happen. I knew one client who was transferring from another tax preparer to us to have us complete her tax return. The first tax preparer emailed the PDF of the tax return unencrypted. And the next thing you know, that had been intercepted and somebody had filed a tax return claiming a $90,000 refund. It took some time to get that fixed and corrected. And the way the IRS works, the identity theft, if you are on that list, they will mail you a PIN code. And when you file your tax return, you have to enter this PIN code into the tax filing. If you don't enter this PIN code, the IRS will reject it. Now, the state of technology and the ability to scoop up social security numbers, names, and addresses off the dark web, it's becoming more and more important to protect yourself. You might want to consider having an identity theft PIN code. You can get one from the IRS. Some people, they like the safety and security. Other people dislike the inconvenience of always having to wait for a letter to come to them with the PIN code. Because if you don't have the PIN code, if you lose it, whatever, then you can't file a tax return. That too gets complicated. You got to avoid tax scams, and one of the scams is ghost preparers, where people who won't sign a tax return, preparers who won't put their PTIN number in there. I was really surprised when I was living in Panama. I saw people come to me with their tax returns that had prepared by people who were considered widely respected, good preparers. And I looked at it, and these people were what we'd call ghost preparers. They were not legal or licensed preparers by the IRS. So as a result, they did not put in their PTIN code because they didn't want to sign it. I knew another person who paid for somebody to prepare the tax return, but that person would not sign the tax return themselves. And it turned out because they were no longer legal tax preparers. They had been punished by the IRS and had lost their license, so they could no longer file, but they were doing ghost tax preparation. I've also seen people who are fake preparers put in fake PTIN numbers. I mean, for this one person who had used a fake tax preparer, they didn't know they were fake. They thought they were a good person. But when I looked at it, I was able to amend their tax return and get them a $16,000 refund because of improper reporting and not taking advantage of all the benefits they could have. So I always say that a good professional is worth the fee that they charge for the tax return. It's your choice if you want to use those people to fill out the paperwork. I mean, they certainly have no skin in the game. The IRS holds you as an individual personally responsible for the accuracy and completeness of your tax return. And you need to be very careful about who you have prepare your tax return. For many years now, the IRS has tried to get the government to pass laws preventing there being unauthorized tax preparers.